Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to Impossible Live. Welcome back if you're joining us again. And if you're watching a replay and spreading some seeds on LinkedIn, on Meta, on YouTube, on Instagram, Jen and I want to take a moment before we even start and just thank you in advance. So, for those who we have not met yet, my good friends call me Mel. And Jen is joining us. As I said, Jen is joining us during Black Philanthropy Month as she's launching. It's already launched, so you're just popping in at the right time to lend some ignition to help her spread seeds during Black Philanthropy Month. For those of you who've joined us before, you already know Denise. Hello, welcome. Denise Hinden in the house. Cheryl Moses in the house. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I really want to thank y'all all just for really loving light. Now, those who have been with us before on Impossible Live, you know we are global, you know we are inclusive. And today we're thanking you for joining us. Hey, Vanita, how are you? We're thanking you for joining us to help Jen spread seeds. So, what do we usually do? Besides virtual toasting, and anybody who knows 50 Cent, I got my vitamin water here ready to go. But I had the pleasure of meeting Jen thanks to Tiffany Patterson and Bernie. Oh, in a magnificent group. They had uh, a conference. It was my first chance to join a conference launching on New Year's Day in 2020 before the pandemic. We know what happened a few months later, but the conference was called Accelerate. And that's why we appreciate you being here today as we're trying to help Jen accelerate her initiative during Black Philanthropy Month. And you'll love it because Jen will crack up. Mel's wearing her t shirt that says Black, Proud, and Educated, Daughter of a Teacher. So without further ado, I want to give Jen a chance. And anybody who's joining us, just like Denise and Vanita and Cheryl, let us know where you're from in the chat. Let us know a way we can help you. TC, yes, you made it in time. But thank you for your energy. Invite some friends. When you see the replay, whether it's on Meta, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's on YouTube, please keep sharing it because Jen's initiative is a movement to create a legacy on Ruby Bridges' birthday, September 8th of this year. And really, TC and Vanita, I want to welcome you to Impossible Live because y'all are right here on time. Without further ado, here is amazing Jen to let you know more about her.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mel. And I remember meeting you too back in, gosh, it was 2020. And we have just been so well connected since then. And I'm really, really grateful that we met that day. I'm really, really grateful to be here sitting with you now. Mel is one of the biggest supporters of Black Women World Record. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who is out there watching this broadcast as well. So, like Mel said, my name is Jen Franks Ahaghotu. I am the CEO and founder of a company called Disruptive Truth, and we are all about supporting Black women, holding space for Black women, for us to speak our disruptive truth in a way that changes the world and allows us to be the freest version of ourselves. And this is the Black Women World Record is the very first project of Disruptive Truth. And we are so excited because this is the first ever world record for Black women and in a way that honors our educational journeys. And so let me tell you about what it is. So Black Women World Record is the very first, so it's a world first record for the largest number of Black women, pictures of Black women with our graduation certificates uploaded to social media within 24 hours. So, it's this big, bright flash of amazing Black women across the internet. We're going to be sharing pictures of ourselves with our graduation certificates all across the world, all across the internet, on all different platforms on September 8th. And just like Mel said, September 8th is a really special day because it is Ruby Bridges' birthday. And for those of you, if you don't know who Ruby Bridges is, she became a a social justice icon, a civil rights icon back as a 6-year-old in 1960. When I think about that, it's just really incredible that she, really made history as a 6-year-old child when she integrated schools in Louisiana. And so we honor her. We honor all of the women who have come since then. We honor ourselves. We honor our family. We honor our legacy. We honor our children with this world record. And we are going to be taking to the internet. We're going to be sharing those pictures of ourselves with our graduation certificates September 8th, all across the internet. And we invite you, if you are a Black woman with a graduation certificate, now that can be a high school graduation, that can be undergraduate, graduate, any certifications that you have that you've gotten through your job, we're going to celebrate it all. Okay, so as long as you've got your high school degree, your high school diploma, we want to celebrate that, and then any other graduation certificates that you've gotten since then. So that is the basics of what this movement is about. I will say that it was started. So Mel talked about being a child of educators. I am also a child of educators. My own parents and my own story is very much steeped in education as a way that my family, who, did not have very much money at all, was able to create amazing opportunities for me. My parents both went to public school education in New York City, public school education, and then went to City College in New York City, and a public university where, they were able to afford to go and afford to be able to take classes and just build the life that they're looking to build. They then went on to Columbia Teachers College, so also in New York City, got scholarships there and became educators, both of them. And everything that I have been able to do is because of them. Everything that I saw that was possible for me was because of them. And so this movement is birthed out of my own family's legacy and what we have accomplished, who we've been, what we've been able to do in the world since then. And now we're taking it global.
Jen, that was fantastic. And we have so many lovely, wonderful people in the house joining us today. Want to thank you so much and for joining us on multiple platforms. Welcome, Carol Franks Randall.
That's my mom.
Welcome, Kim Wheatley Morris. Welcome everybody joining us. And really, I'm telling you, we could just like hang out with Jen for a while. And what I love is I had a chance this weekend as a part of preparing for our live stream to spend a week with my parents. And I love when you check out Jen's YouTube channel, you'll see amazing interviews, or if you're in her dynamic Facebook community. Felicia, welcome and thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Impossible Live. And welcome no matter what your time zones. We have people joining us. It's evening, others afternoon, it's morning. And I love the chance for virtual toast. So Jen and everybody else, let's all remember to hydrate because it's not so cool in many places.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
In the process of speaking with Jen about this amazing initiative, and in the process of trying to keep in touch with you across multiple platforms at the moment. And believe me, we will get to you in all of our comments. One of the things that Jen is trying to do is during her launch, she has an amazing Facebook community of which many of us have invited. Jen, how many people are in preview mode on Meta in your group? How many people right now? Like if you took a guess, how many you have?
Oh goodness. Maybe 1,500 right now. 1,500. Yep. Yep. And we've got a number of women in the group as well. We've got women who are signed up, who aren't necessarily in the Facebook group, who are spreading the word in their areas, right? And there with their friends among their community. So we've got people supporting us all over the place.
So those of you who are in preview mode, you haven't had a chance to pop in and check out. Jen's been having Wednesday kind of Zoom shout outs, where she's been thanking us for helping her spread seeds, and where she and Crystal are sharing more about the movement. Also, tell us about Crystal while we're there. I had a pleasure of finally hearing her voice last week. Tell us about Crystal and what helped inspire you to work with Crystal to set this Black women world record.
Yes, yes. I'm so glad that you mentioned Crystal because this whole thing is about relationships, right? And the people, each individual who's in the group is really special to us. And it's really important, for us to get to know you. We've had people share their stories and it's really all about getting to know each other and then inviting those people who we want to honor by being a part of this project. So everything is about relationships. And this project really started with my relationship with Crystal. She and I were in a business group together, and she certifies world records. So Crystal's company is called Extreme Excellence World Records. I love that title. And they certify world records. They work with all different kinds of women, in particular from around the world, on their projects. And what I love about them is that they are all about social justice, right? So they see these world records and this explosion of visibility for whoever it is that they're working with. So in this case, for Black women and our educational journeys. Um, and they use this as social justice. It's a way to amplify and to celebrate all of the people who they work with. So we're one of them. And when I found out more and more about the world record and what it was and what it could do and how it brings people together, how it allows people to share online, how relationships are built through the world record, how we can get all kinds of different attention from from people who have the power to really change our lives, right? And so we're able to change our own lives. We're able to amplify the message in a very powerful way to lots of people around the world by doing this world record. And so when Crystal and I started talking about it, we said, okay, we got to do this together. Let's figure out what it's going to look like and what it's going to be about. And then, for me, the educational journey piece, that has always been the rock of my entire life. And so you put those two together, and here we are with Black Women World Record.
That's fantastic. And welcome back, Andrea Dixon in the house. And Andrea has really also put a phenomenal comment about that she can't wait to see the levels that we will soar. But Denise and I really want to thank you because Denise is one of those wonderful examples for me of how to model inclusive. And Denise and Louisa, who are with us, have an amazing LinkedIn Live that you have to check out. Louisa or Denise, please put a link to your lives in the chat, and it's to remind us about ways that we can create inclusive cultures and a lighter, brighter, better world. So Denise is asking Jen, what a beautiful way to recognize the educational accomplishments of Black women globally. Where is the world record happening on September 8th? And what are the most important ways we can support your effort?
Yes, I love that, Denise. Thank you so much. And, it's been so incredible. This world record is highlighting Black women, but we've had support from so many different types of people who recognize that this kind of, amplified message of Black women really it serves all of us, right? To be able to be a part of this. And so I appreciate you. I appreciate your question. So the beautiful thing about this is that on September 8th, this is happening really everywhere. So what women are going to do is they're going to be posting pictures of themselves with their graduation certificates to their own social media, and that's one of the ways that this helps to to amplify the actual the just amplify the photos and all of the posts of the women is that you're going to post it to your own social media. And that way, lots and lots of people are going to see it across everybody's social media who participates. And so, if you are a supporter and an ally, what you can do is you can, first of all, let people in your community know about it. You can share the sign up. The sign up, I think, yep, there we go. You register at blackwomenworldrecord.com. So you can pass that along to friends of yours who you would think would be interested. And I've had lots of people who aren't Black women to share this with their friends. And their friends are so, it's really such an honor to have somebody think of you for this and reach out to you and invite you. So anybody can invite the Black women in their lives. And then on the day, as people are posting, to repost, to comment, to like, anything that you would normally do in order to expand somebody's message, somebody's post, that's what you'll do on the day. So those are the best ways to participate. I know, you all are connected to Melanie. You can definitely connect to me. I'm at jenfranksahaghotu in all the places. So connect to me. You can follow the Black Women World Record hashtag as well, and just love on everything that you see.
And we'd also love to welcome Lark. Lark, thank you for joining us. Lark is an amazing mental fitness PQ coach. She's got a fantastic voice and is one of the hosts of Social Saturday Chat. Shout out. I had the pleasure of discovering that recently, thanks to Tabitha Barron and Lachelle Atkins. And they've got an amazing Social Saturday Chat on LinkedIn. Just fantastic community to pop in and help us learn ways, to kind of expand our voice and lend seeds and love and light. But really, just want to welcome you, Lark, and thank you. And I know Lark was traveling in a storm recently, so I'm really glad that you are safe. And really, thank you so much for joining us. I think one of the things that's hard is when we're trying to invite people to register. And I love it because Jen, in full transparency, I was at my parents' and mom knows exactly where her high school diploma is, her college diploma, her master degrees. She moved 3 years ago after 50 years, and they are in a file cabinet. That's the difference, I think, between people. I love to help others learn to earn, and I'm a lifelong learner, but I think it's almost interesting that my mom, as an in her 80s, she can tell you where every degree that she received is, including the one she received the year I was born.
Wow.
So she's got, this is 60 years worth of degrees. And it's not just, I love that your world record allows us to recognize the accomplishments of women from high school. But I think the thing that's catching me as your mom's here, as I'm talking about my mom, as we're thinking of our aunts, our sisters, our goddaughters, our nieces, our neighbors, maybe somebody you mentored, maybe you're part of a sorority or you're part of a Jack and Jill, and you can think of somebody who stood beside you. Or, as I said, as the kid of an educator, I was with a babysitter every time mom got a degree. Or that first degree, she was carrying me around and she accepted it. But I didn't get a chance to witness it. So I think for me, the excitement, and I started talking a little bit about this last Wednesday, and I want to thank your mom, Carol, for reminding me to share it, is think of your daughter. Think of someone you haven't had a chance to celebrate with recently. You weren't around at the time that they received the recognition. You're not sure of their story. And Jen sharing amazing stories and inviting people to come share their stories as part of creating a global movement. And really, I admire your energy because, boy, I don't know how you sleep and manage to sneak in a vacation recently with as a mother of two. But when you're spreading the seeds and you're giving us talking points, you have PDFs, you have great Instagram content that we can reshare, you got YouTube content, you got meta content, you're in my illuminations groups for talented entrepreneurs. We're here today, you have other interviews. How do we help you get to the registered number that will help catapult people so they receive the reminders to share on social media between September 7th at 12:01, between September 7th at 11:59 we start our posts and we're flooding social media. What is the way, and other than adding the hashtag Black Women World Record, what are the ways that we help you with that registration part?
Yeah, yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, Mel. And, the theme here is relationships. The theme here is relation, and you know what? And it always is, and you know that very well because that's your whole business is about that, right? So what we found, so yes, it's great to post and repost and share content online, like the content online. All of that is great, and we welcome that, and please do that, especially on September 8th. But what we found with registrations is that a personal invitation to somebody where you thought about them as an individual, you reached out to them, you let them know what the opportunity was, you told them why you joined, right? Just like we're doing here. Um, that's what brings the registrations. That's what brings them. And so, we've got we've got the link here, blackwomenworldrecord.com. That's, the link to share with people. But in addition to that, let people know what it is, what it's about, and why you've joined, and why it's so important to you. And so, I think that, yeah, I think that it's really all about the meaning behind it, and to bring that to somebody and say, "Look, I see you. I remember when you used to tell me, these stories about when you got your college graduation and what it was like, and what was hard and how you made it through. And we have this opportunity to do that as the collective of Black women around the world, thousands of women sharing those stories, putting up the pictures of themselves and their graduation certificates online. And I have joined, and I invite you to join as well. I think that, like you said, I've been interviewing women to learn more about their stories, and it has been incredible and very moving and very emotional as we're talking about what these journeys have been like, So I just put up an interview recently that is with Tiffany Patterson's mom, right? So the woman who connected us, we are still connected as well. She found out through my posts about Black Women World Record, and she said, my mom would be perfect for this. And the reason that her mom is perfect for this is her mom is 75 years old and she just got her associate's degree this spring, 2023. And it had been a very long journey, and she's planning to get the rest of her undergraduate degree, get a graduate degree in special education. And so to hear her talk about what this means to her, that it really took a lifetime to get to this point because it was that important, and to hear her talk about the difference that she still wants to make in the world, um, at 75, it's incredible. It's incredible. And we have, you know, another interview with a woman who is from Nigeria. And so to hear her talk about what it was like when she, she really could only see what was in front of her and that she didn't have a lot of, access to the internet and different opportunities. And now she's this amazing relationship guru online with thousands of followers and making amazing impact because one woman in her community talked about what she had accomplished in her education, and that opened a door for her entire life, right? So these stories are, um, they're so deep, they're so meaningful. And so, you know, I invite you to invite in those women whose stories also should be told.
I absolutely love that because you reminds me, and this was part of mom always asked me when we're talking about interviews, and I laugh. My mother's never seen an Impossible Live, so I'm really looking forward to sharing this one with her. Is that when mom entered high school, the Queen of England was coronated. So that was her entry point. And one of the things, the only times I really get a chance to hear about high school is I helped her as a class coordinator on their 65th anniversary, virtual, during the pandemic. She laughed because mom dressed in school colors, and I poured her a very small glass of wine because I wanted her to be not the nervous girl that she was at that first day of high school when she was one of her really good friends, one of my guardian angels, one of her besties, was advised by her Aunt B, who was a graduate of the same high school. She says, find another girl who looks like you in your class. And my mom laughed because my mom was the only option in their graduation class. And that was on day one.
Mhm.
And the two of them ended up becoming best buddies and neighbors. And, Marilyn's son, Christian, is the first baby who I had a picture of in my wallet at 11. It was a big thing. I was allowed to hold him at 11. It was a big thing. But one of the things I loved was they talked about their journey in high school and how they met Francis and Francis. My mom's friend Francis. Francis introduced me to rice paper candies. And mom would say she would bring kiwi and all sorts of stuff and seaweed, all sorts of stuff that mom, as a girl from the South, had never, ever tried culturally. So I think that expansion of hearing someone's stories, of really helping each other share the message, as we did in one of our earlier Possible Lives with Jonathan Howard, our culture, our stories, our voices matter. And this is the only way, in some cases, for some of our ancestors, the women we love, to recognize their accomplishments. We don't have a chance to do that every day.
Yeah.
I this is a week of caregiving with my parents. Kind of, hmm, I appeared to have a lot of energy with you on Wednesday, and I loved it because my dad cheered me on in the back end as I was sharing my mom's story in your community. And it's that reminder. Some of us don't feel like we always have a seat at the table, like there's always a chair or a welcoming circle. It's one of the reasons I adore Denise Hendon. Boy, did you welcome me with love and grace in a mental fitness community. Lark looked Denise up, Denise with a C. And Denise was amazing. I was a girl in mental fitness cohort 9. And at that time in our smaller community, we had the honor of seeing other people who look like us. But I realized for my mother, that's a unique experience in her life, a unique experience as an educator, a unique experience in a classroom, on a transportation system, running into someone somewhere who you can share a story with. Mom was one of 7. Francis was not. Francis bought lunch for 2
Wow.
with
Wow.
grace, not realizing the wonderful gift, not realizing the wonderful gift. And I think that's what this is about. That there's a gift in this. I appreciate any opportunity I have. Rare, 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 rare situation. My brother and I understand how lucky we are. And this is now another chance to recognize.
Yes, I love that. I love that you said that. One of the things that we talk about in our Facebook group and in our community is that this is a celebration of what already exists. This is not asking you to be anything different or do anything different or overcome it. Like, you've already done all of that. We have already done all of that. And this is now, a recognition, a celebration of what we have already accomplished, and that many times we don't think about very much, or we don't celebrate, or, I have people telling stories that they've never told before just because nobody has asked them. Not because it didn't happen or they didn't do it, but they haven't really told their story fully around this, and very powerful stories. And so, all this is an opportunity to share with the world who we already are, what we have already done, and to do that on a massive scale that's never been done before. And when we do that together as a community, as Black women, as women who have joined this community, it becomes powerful beyond measure. It really does. On the individual level, just like you're saying, as you're getting to know, "Oh, her story is similar to mine," or, "Oh, that reminds me of my well, that what my aunt experienced," or whatever, like, in personal connection you're making. And then also when we do that collectively on September 8th, and the whole internet is watching that, we become powerful beyond measure together.
I love that. As almost 3 months ago, our niece graduated from Brown University. And on a weekend when we had to celebrate as a family in a unique fashion, it was new to us. A lot of times you're in a place where you're able to observe a graduation ceremony. This is massive. So she experienced them, and we watched her on television or on live stream or on replays as we're watching as a family on YouTube. It's a different way, and it's a different lens, and it's also a different experience. That chance to really just share. I talk all the time about ways to spread seeds, ways we can brighten and lighten our world. We really appreciate you popping in to help us brighten and lighten it. And while we're doing that, something Jen reminds me of that I don't do often, that I really need to remember, is Mel's got a hashtag too.
Mhm.
And you'll see it in my name. It says Mel, AKA hashtag Ignite Trust. And what I love about it is that a wonderful woman, Ilya Francis, helped me understand this is what I would get lined up behind. After Yvette Bethel turned me into a trust ambassador with my first coaching certifications. So really, if you have a moment, if you want to stay in touch, besides popping in on Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern or for replays, is please follow the hashtag when you have a chance. And it's just Ignite Trust. I'm grateful to my tech friends for teaching me about Bitly links so I could fall in love with them. It reminds me, Jen, we should create you some too. But
Love it.
in that process of exploring, I think I missed one of the great questions that Jen suggested. So we've talked about what is the Black Women World Record. We've talked about why is the Black Women World Record important. And let's close kind of, not kicking you out, Jen, but let's close kind of on why should someone join the Black Women World Record? Why should someone invite others to join the Black Woman World Record?
Yes. Ooh, I love that. It's a good way to wrap up. So, I would say that it just fundamentally comes down to visibility. It comes down to visibility. And as Black women, listen, I'm the main character of my own story, okay? And I know you are of yours, and we all are. But in society and in culture, that is not always the case. And we know this, right? We talk about not having a seat at the table. If you look at, statistics around, who gets funding, who is on the leadership, on leadership of different companies and boards and all of this, um, it is it's just not fair. It's just not fair, but it is true. And so what this is all about is this is something that we can do for ourselves, that we don't have to wait. We don't have to ask permission. We don't have to try to get a seat. We don't have to, this is something that's for us, that's by us, that has nothing to do with anybody else. And there may be people out there who are uncomfortable with that, and good, they should be uncomfortable with that, because we deserve to be at the center of our own stories, and we deserve to create things for ourselves. And so, the whole purpose around this is for us to take our own visibility into our own hands. And that is what this is really all about. So if you are the kind of person who likes to create, right? If you are the kind of person who doesn't want to, is sick of asking for permission, or, begging for attention, or, trying to get somebody to see you in a way that maybe they never will, this is the movement for you, because this is for us. You are welcome here. You are seen here. You are appreciated here, just automatically for who you are, period. And if you like to be in communities like that, if you want to do something that is, that has never been done before, that, will enrich your lives in all of the ways that we've already talked about on this broadcast, then this is for you. Then you should join us. Join us. Invite your mom to join us, invite your daughter to join us, your friends, your colleagues. I have people who, have followings, and they're inviting people who are in their community, people who are clients, any Black woman who you want to see honored for who she is and what she's accomplished in her education. And since then, this is for you. And this is why you should do this. I would say one of the things that I see very clearly for this project is this line of ancestry. And you already talked some about that, Melanie. It's there are certain people in our ancestry that, we've never met. Maybe we've heard about them. Maybe we've heard stories. Some of them lived long lives. Some of them didn't. And there's still work to be done on behalf of those people. And that's just the belief that I have, is that there are certain things that we can do now that help to resolve things for previous generations, and that also help to set things up for future generations. So, if you're about that, you should definitely join us.
I love that you're saying that. And I really love Marcia Lee's comment. This is history that everyone should know about. And happy early birthday to Ruby Bridges. I think one of the things too, and we crack up in a sense as we're on LinkedIn, where people were making jokes about Snoop Dogg being on, and anyone in our networks who can get this to somebody like that who can elevate Jen's cause, because toasting Ruby Bridges in person one day when Jen does this again might be a really cool way, you know, to really recognize this wonderful world record, and really in a sense also to really recognize her initiative. So just before we leave you, guess what link we're going to show you again? And I'm really mentioning this because I'm promising, accountability wise, to dig out my diploma, because mom knows where all hers are, the retired educator. After 50 years in a house and after moving almost 3 years ago, mom knows exactly where hers are, exactly what drawer. I'm pretty sure mine are in a bookcase with a high school yearbook from School of the Performing Arts, which no longer exists. So I'm really looking forward to locating that diploma and sharing that one, but also to hanging out with mom and her diplomas, and my beautiful niece Emma with her Brown University diploma, and Auntie Mel will hang there with her School of Performing Arts diploma. And we'll take a picture also of multiple generations. That is my promise. And it may take me the full Labor Day weekend to locate that diploma. But Jen, I will find it and dig it out. And I think
Yes.
that's the thing we're talking about, whether they're memories that we're excavating from, or we're going back in our personal archives, because I've never attended one of my high school reunions. And maybe last year, mm, last year was our 45th. Mm-hmm. Talk
Wow.
about dating myself, and I appreciate it too, because in the process of Jen encouraging and reminding, show up as you are, and Mel with braids is definitely making an appearance in August and in presentations. Thank you, Leslie George, for encouraging me to step out as a speaker. Thank you again, Tiana and Sandra, in the Positive Intelligence DEIB community of practice. Thank you for your love and your light. Thank you, Esther and Sandra, for showing up. We need people, and Martin Stark will pop in later. We need people like Martin who are courage champions, and the people who encourage us to show up as our best, brightest selves. It's been one of the things behind the I'm Possible, which was a magnet on my refrigerator during the beginning of the pandemic. And I reached for it the same way we reach for the good book, or we reach for someone's hand, or we're reaching for inspiration, just to kind of light up and brighten our world. So anything you do to help others discover that this is an inclusive movement, that Jen and Crystal are operating from the back end. As Crystal introduces herself during Jen's Wednesdays as the woman who does not appear to be a woman of color. And think of the dialogues we can have with people in these conversations, the 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 language that we didn't necessarily know how to speak, but education's a common experience, whether you're like Erica Keese homeschooling, whether you're like Dr. Linda Eno, who homeschooled and now they're in school, whether you're like my brother, who was an empty nester and now your college graduate is back, ready to embark, whatever the stages of our life, whatever the stages of our culture, of our upbringing, of our outreach, if we could kind of shed some light and spread some wonderful seeds for Jen, for Black Women World Record.com, for Jen's company, Disruptive truths. And Shirley, Miss Visibly Disruptive, got to make sure you and Jen and I get together sometime and hang out and celebrate this one this fall. And thank you also to Mosaic Nation for giving Jen an
Mm.
amazing opportunity to reach your nation of co-elevators on Clubhouse. But Jen, we're going to put more of your links in, and I hope everybody. Vanita, you're in PQ also. Vanita, woo, mental fitness. PQ reps in the house. Anybody who doesn't know about mental fitness, it is an amazing system. I'm delighted to be a mental fitness coach. We are coaches who Shirzad's trying to help us spread some light into this world. I'm delighted to be one. And thank you, Angie Alexander and Phil Gilks, for inviting me in. I know we've talked about everything. We have been everywhere and back today, Jen. And we are, thank you, Marcia, also. Thank you, and thank all the gentlemen who prop and hold us up. But as we're ending, and you know we will, we're going to ask you to register at blackwomenworldrecord.com. If you are on Meta, find me, find Jen. If you're in my illuminations groups, Jen's events on Wednesdays are listed in there. You can just click through to the Zoom link. Not a lot of heavy lifting. I have a global group where all are welcome and you're free to promote and bring some love and light and share some gems. But thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you also, wherever you are, whatever your age, your stage, and to our friends in places with weather systems and recent quakes, we hope you're safe. You know, Lark and Denise, y'all are in some places that are recently affected by amazing weather systems. But thank you all so much for joining us. Pop back into Impossible Live for virtual toasts, for smiles across the miles, and stay cool, stay safe, stay well, stay inspired, and please stay in touch. And Jen, thank you so much for lighting us up today.
Thank you, Mel. It's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing folks in the group. I can't wait.
Have a magnificent day, everybody. Take great care.